Spargo's plan is running over players in Smash Ultimate, and I just wanted to talk about it and try to figure out what exactly made it happen. Is it just matchup inexperience? Is he good at these matchups with Plant? Is he just that much better than everyone else? Let's talk about it. If you like videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'd appreciate if you could help out. So let's talk about it. So let's get the obvious out the way. Yes, there is a lot of matchup inexperience when it came to fighting against Spargo's Plant. Not only are you fighting one of the best players in the world when it comes to adaptation, when it comes to understanding how you're moving and knowing your habits, you're fighting a character that no one plays. I think you can think of maybe 2 plants in the entire world that are good. You can think of Lucky, you can think of Brood. I don't think there are any other plants other than those 3 people of Lucky, Brood, and Spargo. But the second thing is, in this matchup where Fox is extremely light, you're very nervous and you're playing in tournament against a character that can make you explode. It feels like this could be not really even at all, but it feels like you're playing it like it's even. Now, I think the 2 strengths that Plant really has works well against a Fox that can't just out neutral you because you're playing, against one of the best players in the world. He is very good at reading people when it comes to just trying to kill them. So I think it's like when he fought Light was just trying to kill a plant that lived for way too long. And if you can't kill someone at 150%, they have the chance to kill you at 40, and Plant has that opportunity. Yes, Plant is slow. Yes, Plant doesn't have moves to chase you down all the time, but there are a lot of ways to mitigate that. Firstly, you play to your strengths. You get Fox off stage and then you try to kill him there because you still have a good down tilt. You still have a downer that will kill. You still have Nair that catches jumps. You still have backer that obliterates people. You still have normal moves. And I feel like that's what made Spargo beat Light. Honestly, I feel like Light was just trying to run at Spargo because he's faster without really respecting Plant's moves. And I feel like that was just something that constantly kept happening with Spargo versus these top players. At the end of the day, I do think that Light's probably not going to struggle as much when he realizes that Plant really can't run at Fox and that Spargo has to make a lot of assumptions about where Light's going. But hey, it could be just a matchup experience thing forever, because who is Light going to be practicing against when it comes to the Plant matchup? It's pretty much just going to be Spargo. And that's a benefit you can always have when you play a weirdly rare mid-tier character. Another crazy set that happened was Spargo versus Sonics in a matchup that definitely feels like it should be horrible, because how does Plant actually catch Sonic? It was kind of interesting. It's a case of where you can't face Sonic, but you can catch him right as he runs past you with jab. It seemed like Piranha Plant's jab was made perfectly to stop spin dash if he gets the right timing, and Spargo just got the right timing so many times. Again, the strengths of Plant were at full force here, because I felt like Sonics was constantly trying to outpace Spargo and was trying to run at him while he didn't really have to. Now, he couldn't just straight up camp because Spargo's positioning was very, very good. It was very difficult to tell the intentions of Spargo. Was he trying to run at him? Was he trying to stop him midway? Was he positioning himself to catch spin dash? Was he trying to catch the jump after it? Spargo was making good decisions against Sonic, and I feel like Sonic always gets super buffed because when he fights certain people, they just give it to him. They do bad landings, they try to make roll reads, they try to do reads to spin dash and get hit anyway. But Spargo was always in the right spot, in the right position to make it ambiguous whether he was going to dash attack, whether he was going to jab, and whether he was going to up air. And I feel like trying that walling strategy against Sonic is very, very good. Now, it doesn't mean that you necessarily win. Someone thinking that Piranha Plant is the only character that actually beats Sonic is an insane take, but it does mean that you have to be way better when it comes to your decision making, especially since I think Spargo still is showing how good Piranha Plant's ledge trapping is. I feel like making up for neutral is really what Piranha Plant struggles with. It feels like his neutral isn't really the pacemaker. You can't really dictate what's going to happen because you're not fast enough. You don't really have a move that says, hey, you have to deal with me or else you lose. But I think Spargo was always putting on pressure just because he was standing in spots that made it very awkward for people to get around him. He was always ready to do an up air to catch your jumps. He was always ready to do a patooey to throw at you and get your shield pressure like really messed up. And it was just a lot of stuff you didn't really know or understand. Specifically for the Sonic matchup, the fact that Piranha Plant's jab can stop Spin Dash at all is very awkward because it feels like Sonic's had to sometimes jump to avoid getting jabbed. And sure, jab doesn't do a lot, but it does lead to tech chases, which can lead to more and more damage, and it does lead to a mini game that Spargo just tends to win. Will he go for dash attack? Will he go for jab? Will he try to wait for the jump? I just think that Piranha Plant, while not being a great matchup, because I still think Sonic dictates everything in the matchup, I think Spargo is just that caliber of player to just read Sonics in every juncture. He's played against Sonics so much and beating Sonics with so many different characters. I'm gonna just call player diff here. Really, I feel like there's not much else you can say. I feel like every guess of dash attack was right, every Patui was placed well, every up air was very good, and Sonics has to fight a character that's super heavy and lives a long time. It's really awkward for me to say, but I mean, it's obvious to me why I think Spargo won this match. Finally, we're going to be talking about Spargo versus MKLeo. I think the first issue I have with this is just the characters between them is so strange to me. First of all, we had Spargo's Plant versus Leo's Byleth. I still think that Byleth is a good character, but for Leo to go this instead of Pyramithra or Joker is strange to me. Maybe it's a pride thing, maybe it's a fun thing, I don't really know. I feel like Pyramithra dumpsters on Piranha Plant, but I feel like Byleth, while being a good character, doesn't do so well that Spargo winning here is that surprising. I feel like Byleth still is quite slow. I still think Spargo has the position to just beat him in neutral. I still think all the strengths I said before about Piranha Plant apply here. I think Byleth mostly is strong when you can space someone out and use your frame data to outmaneuver somebody trying to put pressure on you. And while I do think that's good against Plant, having a slow run speed does mean that Plant can reposition himself well enough to combat all the pressure you're doing onto him. I still think that you do have the range plus to make it a bit difficult for Plant to get in, but dash attack is such a I feel like underrated move. Being able to dash attack and then put people in Plant's probably best state of the game, which is ledge trapping, is really beneficial. I do think that this is one of the most even matchups you can get is for Plant, just because of the speed thing and the fact that you have a way to get in on Byleth. But I'm gonna be honest, this is definitely feeling very generous. I do think that Byleth is still a better character and overall probably doesn't struggle that much with Plant, and there's a lot of making up to do when it comes to just how good Spargo was in this set. But I still think that if I was to be Leo, I mean, there's obvious choices. If I ever do see this again, I would love to see MKLeo try one of his better characters, even if I think it was super entertaining and fun to watch Piranha Plant versus Byleth. I just think, objectively speaking, there are better matchups here. I think being a slow character like Byleth makes it so Piranha Plant's positioning is a lot more threatening than it should be, and I still think you can't get around Patui or get around dash attack without getting hit, and I think someone like Spargo isn't going to let you get away with playing a matchup that's even close to even when it comes to trying to beat him. As entertaining as this all is, what does this really say about Plant and Spargo using Plant? I think Spargo's reasoning of playing Plant because he's fun is quite good, honestly. I think being able to have fun with the character you play will probably make your gameplay a lot more fluid and exciting for everyone involved. My thing is, when people try to act like Plant goes from this bottom 10 character to maybe high tier or beating these characters like beating Sonic or beating Fox, I think these are crazy takes. Plant's worst things and worst attributes are still there. His disadvantage is still not good. He doesn't have a real good way to land that isn't just hoping you run into down B. He still has problems with neutral, still slow and has to rely on dash attack that doesn't give you much reward but does put you in his best position, which is putting you at ledge. I still think Plant's not great. I don't think the character is that cohesive. I still think that characters like Rob and Steve and Pyramithra and Kazuya all dumpster on Plant. But Smash Ultimate being an 80 character game leads to situations like this, where if you just have even like a -1 or if he has a -1, it's doable. I feel like being a mid tier where you A, don't have a lot of people playing against you, and B, have a lot of strengths that people don't consider, can lead to situations like this, especially piloted by the best player in the world right now. It's hilarious, it's funny, but let's not get carried away. I don't think Plant's going to be running anything anytime soon, and even if Spargo does inspire more people to play Plant, they're going to see real quick that he's just built different. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Do you think my Plant takes crazy? Do you think Plant's secretly crazy good? Will we see crazy results from him? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, have a good day.